Mm. So last I left off, I was at the onsen, Hezekiah, and a few others, and it was a nice, relaxing evening. Reminded me a bit of home, but we're still a bit worried. Not sure how long our new home here is going to last. Hmm. That's fine. I want her to know more, actually.
I know. I'm just informing.
Oh, look at you. You put on the clothes.
Yes.
Comfy?
Yes, they are very comfortable.
Glad you picked them out yourself.
With help.
Of course. She finally has clothes that she bought herself now.
Is the first steps into having a whole wardrobe that makes you feel good instead of cramped, I guess, in your own clothes.
That is what Hezekiah said. Sensei.
You're fine. We're not training. You can call me by my name.
Yes.
Go on, try it out.
Hezekiah.
There you go.
But the others, they call you Zeke.
I call
mean,
him Hezekiah
yeah.
when I'm angry with him.
Feel free to pick whichever one makes you more comfortable. I don't mind.
You are sure?
Yeah, no, I'm perfectly fine with either or.
Thank you.
I was going over some things that are going to be up in the future. Feel free to sit and listen. As your instructor, you should know a few things about your teacher.
Yes, Sensei.
Might help you connect.
After this,
Or
we'll be making dinner as well. Slade formally requested steak, and Sarah's requested hot dogs, so I will be making what sounds like a Western dinner.
You know, hot dogs sound great. I'll probably make some cookies later then.
I'm just going to make myself a salad and call it that.
That would probably do best. Where were we?
You talking about your mother, and then
I already went over small bits with Sakoto about my mother. Not wanting to be fully involved in my studies, I went to the Knights Academy. She was against it, but my father saw the same spark that he saw in her. He was also against it, vehemently. It took me a while to realize that his negativity towards it was because of what happened to my uncle. I regret a lot of my actions towards my father now that he's gone. I was just blind at the time. Didn't understand the world around me. I wanted to be a knight. I wanted to prove that I wasn't just one of the peasants, the farmer's boy. That I could take the power that I had and use it to protect others. And mold it to something stronger. And I did. But I did it the wrong way at first when I joined the Knights Academy. My powers were on and off. Back then I didn't understand anger causes my spells to I can't concentrate. I didn't like the nobles and those who got in based on their last name. I thought they weren't worth my time. And yet, I couldn't beat Sienna in a one-on-one for sparring. Every single time. And that made me more angry, and that made me more sloppy. But eventually I looked at it a different way. She wasn't doing it because of her last name. She was doing it for herself also. And I had a shift, a change. I had to rethink why I was doing it. Was I really just trying to prove people wrong, or be a selfish hero? That's when Ariel spoke. She had always been watching, but that's when she spoke. She asked me what I truly wanted to protect, and what I wanted to do with those who would stand against it. And I formed my oath with her. And then it was nearing graduation. And a few weeks before graduation, I got word that my mother's health went for the worse. And I didn't go back home when they gave us leave. Graduation week was right around the corner, and I didn't want to be anywhere but far from home. I wanted to be on the other side of the city, not thinking about any of it. And then we graduated. And then a few days later, she passed away. My father didn't even tell me. One of the other knights informed me. I wasn't strong enough to go back home and tell her that I'd become a knight, and I missed the opportunity. I lost one. I sort of used Ariel as a replacement. She's kind. She guides when she needs to, is silent when she needs to. She's there to make a snarky comment sometimes when I fail. She's always there. I know the Archangels can't always be there. They have so many other followers that they have to watch over, but I know she won't give up on me. So I guess that's where my fears dashed away, as long as I have Ariel. My oath. We can be scared of anything. We can be scared of ourselves, our family, our past. There's always a little bit of something I want to grab onto and move forward with. There's always a reason to keep moving forward. Just have to find it. Then the war broke out, which is a whole story in its own. It was a dumb reason. People wanted to choose their own path. They felt like the Archangels were guiding us too much, or altering the paths that we could take or were available. One side said yes, one side said no. Fighting ensued. You know the rest. Civil wars. Neither side really won. I had orders that I'm not proud of. Thought I was doing the right thing at the time, till nearing the end and seeing all of the destruction I'd caused. Even I didn't know which side was right anymore at the end. Then they gave us the order to leave the capital. They were going to get rid of it. Start over. Completely. So all those who were loyal to the Archangels were pulled out. Some of us didn't get out in time, I'm pretty sure. That's where I lost most of my platoon. And I heard that Sienna's had fallen. Apparently she had gotten out. I just didn't know with who. And she went to go train. I ended up getting shunted here by one of the other knights. And for 8 years I wandered homeless around the material plane in Zephyr City and the neighboring cities. Well, you know that played out. Until I found Saya, who matched Sienna's description a bit. And that just so happened to correlate, and everything fell into place. I'm happy.
Yes. Um, good emotions will also be amplified in there. So that is a positive.
That's good to know. That's also a little troubling to know. There's a lot of emotions that
Oh.
are good that can really make things worse in the wrong ways.
Oh. That's such a bad thing. I'm going to have to like make you upset to get you out of a super happy state or anything. Unless you just mean it's like people around you kind of deal.
I mean, yeah, you're not wrong.
Hmm.
But I'm not sure what would spike.
Hmm.
Okay, I kind of have a small tidbit, but
Hmm.
leave that one up to when it happens. I don't think in the battlefield I'll have to be worrying about good emotions while I'm concentrating.
Remember, we are relaxing after that mission.
Yes, that's why we can deal with that then and there if it does happen. How was your day besides the shopping trip?
It was peaceful, I suppose.
That's good. You're allowed to ask questions.
Not questions
share your
so
own.
much. Hearing your story makes me feel lucky, I guess.
How so?
Your story is very sad. Losing touch with your father, the death of your mother, in a time when you should have been happy, and then being caught in a war where no side is ever right. And then being in a new place, homeless, unfamiliar, not knowing what happened to those you cared about. I suppose some of it makes
No,
me
you're
feel
right.
a kinship.
You're right, it was sad. It was horrible. And I told you that I used alcohol to dull when I got here. You were at the onsen. You saw the scar on my back. I got that here. I got it protecting somebody else by trying to throw my own life away. don't know why I thought doing it that way would make it somehow worth it. I was lost, and I let the sadness take hold. And I thought as long as I was doing my oath, and that's how I went out, that it would mean something. But Ariel pulled me back. The one time in those 3 years that she actually shouted at me, it made me move. It made me get back up. And for a little bit, I was okay again. And then it didn't last again. And I was slowly starting to fade back into it. And then I found Aegis. And it was like my world was slowly being restored. So yeah, I'd say right now, I'm happy. I figured out for myself what went wrong and where, and I made peace with it. I had faith. Sometimes that's all that you need.
Sometimes, yes.
I couldn't have done it without everybody around. Especially with how stubborn I was when I first got here. I stood in the training room, didn't talk to anybody. I would go to the training room, meditate, or at least try to. I would only talk to Sienna, and that was it. But slowly, the other agents that I was helping, working with, kind of broke me out of my shell. Some a little more than others. And then I got students. And that was tough to finally be on the other side of it and be an instructor. It's a learning curve. But I enjoy it. Especially when all my students are so unique. So, I think I'll be fine in the Feywilds.
Sure. Possibly. There's plenty of work.
Exactly. Let's get into some silly situations.
You know, sure. We'll see what happens.
And
Thankfully, the aura doesn't affect me there.
exactly, so you'll just, tie a string around my wrist or something, make sure I don't wander off.
I can put kid leashes on the both of you. Little backpacks.
That's not happening.
Yes.
You're right, I have to follow orders. Damn it. I already agreed to it.
Yes,
Alright.
honey.
Well,
We would do that in the mountain, even if you are not a child.
that's understandable, yeah.
Understandable.
And once we finish what we're dealing with and I get back, whatever your regular studies are, just make sure you follow them. I'll write you out a plan.
Mm.
And after that, we'll see about heading out to Ristov.
Okay.
I know it's going to be a tough thing for you to do. It's not easy.
I suppose so, but I feel it is important. I never had the opportunity to say goodbye.
Yeah, I get that.
It was not just my parents, it was everyone. Everyone knew each other.
Sadly, I get that too. I wasn't as connected with my town as you probably were, but I knew some of the kids and the adults that were there, and now Elysium's just gone. Everything and everyone. So, after we make the trek up the mountain, I'll let you visit home. Depending on how that goes, I think I might work up enough courage to go home myself. I only have one anchor point there. My old house. So, I guess I'll visit it after. See, you're doing something good for me. You're giving me some strength that I didn't know I needed.
My father had a saying. It is always easier to be strong for someone else than it is for yourself.
Yeah, it is. But enough, you know, what ifs and sadness. I think you have dinner to make, don't you?
Yes, I do. I will take my leave then. Yes, I do.
I'll probably be around for a little bit to help you.
Okay.
Just let me know when you start.
I'll be starting once I get in the kitchen.
There is something glowing on her back. Wonder what it was. It looked like an image. Perhaps a tattoo? Oh.
So how do you feel about your training, Sakoto?
I do not know. I suppose good. Because I am learning something. And well, I feel like it is getting better, but I also feel worried from what I talked to you about it getting worse. And then I suppose I am just confused. Because I still do not entirely understand it. Because you say it, you do not think it is like normal magic. And even magic I do not understand.
Yes, you're special. There's not many like you that can, I'll say cast for the sake of it, but the way that you cast your abilities. Do you feel like you want to try something different?
I guess. I do not know what I can do.
Any feelings? Emotions? Something that just feels different from your regular training?
It does not necessarily feel. I just focus on pushing or talking and it just happens.
Pushing and talking. How did moving yourself go?
I have not tried it yet. I did not want to try until. Well, I was worried I might break something again.
You know, you can just move. You can just go to the training room whenever. You don't need.
I am sorry.
For what?
Well, I do not wish to be a burden, but I was scared to try. Without you.
You were trying, and you wanted to try. And you don't have anything to be sorry about. Now you know. If you wake up in the middle of the night, like last time, and you feel like something's off, or something's different, don't be afraid to knock on my door. You don't even need to come in or tell me anything, just knock 3 times and tell me you're gonna head to the training room.
Okay.
I'll wake up and put my gear on and catch up with you. There's nothing wrong. The training room is always open, all the time. The more you use it, the better off you really are. Plus, most of the agents are walking around at all times and all hours, so you're not going to disrupt anybody. In fact, I'd rather you go to the training room and accidentally, knock something over than do it in your room. But if it happens, it happens, and it's not your fault.
I just worry about getting hurt.
That's an okay worry. Because it could happen. I'm not gonna lie to you. I did it myself. The boulders didn't always used to fly forward.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. It wasn't so much as hurt as it, ran into me and pushed me back the other way a few feet, but it was more funny than it was painful. Then there was the time when I couldn't figure out how to pull from the ground. And then I realized I did pull from the ground and that I was standing on the boulder that I was lifting, and I was about 10 feet in the air. And then the magic faded. And then I fell 10 feet. Then the boulder fell. Point is, there's gonna be mistakes. Nobody's perfect. Our magic doesn't come with a manual that tells us how to use it. It comes with feelings and an aura or a sense. Sometimes it's a smell, sometimes it's a sight, sometimes it's thinking, sometimes it's a push, sometimes it's a pull.
I suppose this does make sense.
You learn quickly.
I am trying to.
I can see, I can tell by your progress, and I'm proud of it.
I
I
want
don't think
to.
enough of the agents actually get told that.
Well, maybe they should. then?
They should. I'll make sure I start telling them.
I have been thinking about the first mission that that I was sent on, the one where we met Slade. Yes.
Hmm.
Well, for the most part, I stayed with Ashura, and I tried to help, but I am not very strong. And those creatures that
Not physically.
humans, they are very formidable.
They are strong, yes.
There were times where Ashura had to try to jump in and protect me. And in some cases, he was hurt because he was trying to protect me. The same happened to Calliope. I would rather people not be hurt because of me.
We'll say from experience that you don't want that to happen. But Calliope understands. Ashura, Shiro.
I know
They
they
all understand that
but I do not wish
that's
to be a
part of their
burden.
job. You're not a burden. Combat is dangerous, and there will always be opportunities and chances for the enemy to outmaneuver you. You can't be perfect all the time. That's what they're there for. To step in to make sure that you don't take the hit that's heavier that they can take. They don't treat you any differently because that one mission they got hit protecting you.
That is not the concern. They are just getting hurt. Because I was not strong enough, and I do not want that.
You weren't strong enough yet, and you understand that. You'll get there. So, you know where you're at. You know where you want to go. It's up to you to get there. But I'll help any way I can.
Thank you. And Izakaya.
There you go.
You are my sensei, though, yes?
Of course. When we're training, I'll be sensei. When you need questions about your abilities, I will be sensei. When you want to share your emotions and your worries, I'll be Hezekiah. I'll be a friend. If you want me to be sensei during some of that, just let me know ahead of time.
Sensei is just a term we use to signify that you are a teacher. Someone who is more knowledgeable. You speak and I listen. It does not necessarily
Alright.
have to mean that you are not my friend, I suppose. But
Alright then.
I call you this
I get that.
because you are respectable. You are a leader.
Well, that's flattering, I guess.
But there are other words we sometimes use.
Oh, such as?
You may have heard me use some of them before.
Probably in passing.
Like Shiro-sama. She is my better. She is someone who is
In terms of combat? I can see that.
in terms of many things.
In terms of social, you're making leaps and bounds that she hasn't yet. Shiro is very, very soft. She's kind, but she doesn't step out of comfort zone yet. Not fully. In that sense, you can probably teach her a thing or two.
I suppose I have had to step outside of my comfort zone many times over the past few years. So it is nothing new.
It's not always a choice, that's for sure.
Very rarely have I had the choice.
We don't always have choices. But the few that are presented to us, you reach out and you grab hold of it. There was a saying among the knights, the younger ones looking to get their rank. I led a battalion, a small platoon, which means I held a certain rank among the knights. Sienna technically held rank one higher than me, based on her namesake, which I'm completely fine with. That's just how the structure worked. But I climbed up through the ranks, and our saying was, if it was easy, it wouldn't be worth it.
I suppose this
If the
makes
rank
sense.
was given to me because I simply stood there, then I don't really deserve it.
I understand
Not
this.
worth anything to me.
I grew up on the mountain after all. People were always coming through our village. It is what we were there for.
I don't like the cold, so I don't think I would have ever climbed the mountain.
Even if you did not like the cold, you had to make the trek up the mountain if you were a follower of Alu and wished to gain his favor.
Spiritual quest overcomes want for comfort.
Our village
That I
has
can understand.
made, well, before I was ever born. But it was made by the people who climbed the mountain. Oh. They eventually decided to stay there, on the mountain, to stay close. And now it is a place of rest along the path to make it easier for those who come. Or at least it was.
I like that, actually. Those who are strong enough to tread the path the first time leave a way for those to follow them. I'm gonna take that to heart, Sakoto. That's a new one for me. So I promise as your teacher to tread the path for you, so that way you can follow. And I think I found a way to bridge that gap a little bit.
What gap?
It's hard to say just yet what gap, but it feels like there's something there. And I think I'd like to learn more about your village and your childhood a little bit. Over dinner. BB's cooking, after all. I'd love to sit and listen a little bit, if you don't mind.
I suppose, yes.
I would enjoy hearing about all the good times you had. We'll stick with the good times. We'll call it a little bit of a cultural exchange. You teach me about your beliefs and your family's beliefs, and I'll share a little bit of mine. Yeah?
I suppose. Would be nice.
Yeah, it's a change, and I think it's gonna be nice. Something I'm not used to. You're doing a good job.
Thank you.
No problem. I think she said she was making steaks and hot dogs.
A lot of meat, yes.
I'll probably help her cook some potatoes or something.
Spiral, thank you for the raid, hon. How do you...
Not sure yet. Maybe some green beans. Probably sounds good.
You are glowing.
You don't even eat. Huh? Oh, yeah. Not my magic aerials.
I remember. It was just very sudden.
Yeah, sometimes she's very sudden.
Hmm.
She likes to pop in. Not many people in Material Plane, apparently. Still a lot of them left in Elysium, it seems. Understandably so.
Hmm.
Put out in my pot here, Ariel. Come on, let's go get you some food.
Okay.
You thinking about it?
Sometimes. Sometimes I do. It seems rather
I've used
scary.
it once or twice. It's all about landing. As long as, you hold on to the end, unless you planned on stopping anywhere in between. Just remember, you're gonna keep your momentum, so keep running a little bit afterwards. So then you can slow yourself down.
Hmm. I think I will forgo it for now.
That's fine too. I do prefer walking.
Hmm. Hmm. Do you think Shiro will be okay enough for the fighting taking place and
Hmm. She's strong. She's durable. She
Mm.
did get some burns, but I've been helping her with those.
Mm.
Well, at least the visible ones. Sienna's helping her with the ones that are more delicate.
Mm? Mm.
The ones under her. The ones better off Sienna seeing than me. More comfortable.
I oh oh yes,
Mm-hmm.
did not realize.
Yeah, my more potent healing is touch based, so
Mm.